Hello everyone, September 2009 here. 2025 marks 15 years since the release of Misty Island Rescue in 2010. This film is generally regarded as the least popular Thomas film to the fandom. However, I used to really like this film and I'm very nostalgic for it. Either the Misty Island Rescue DVD or Splish Splash Splosh was the first Thomas DVD I ever owned. Both amazingly still work. My copy still has the slipcover and I got it new. So I've had it since I was a baby, so that explains the nostalgia. But in this video, I'll rewatch the film and see how bad it really is and how it has held up over time. So let's get into it. Like all of the CGI Thomas films up until Tale of the Brave, this film starts with a nice animated intro sequence with what is a really great piece of music accompanying it. And wait a minute, this is the Pirates of the Caribbean theme. Why? The only thing this film has to do with pirates is the fact that they pirated the intro music. How did they get away with this? Next is the opening scene, which is literally the same opening as every single Nitrogen episode. How original, Sharon. And straight away we get into the rhyming. Why does everything have to rhyme? Ooh, look, new character. Gotta get those toy sales up. Something that has really confused me, like forever, is how the ship is loaded with Joby wood when we first see it, but in the next shot, it's all gone, but there are only 3 stacks on the flatbed. Did Cranky drop them all into the sea or something? Hang on, why are Cranky's eyes shut? This film can't be that boring, he's already gone to sleep. Ah, the chase. Probably the most exciting part of the whole film. I remember acting out the scene where Diesel loses the Joby logs with my toys. I remember cutting up red plastic straws to make the Joby logs and putting them on a flatbed. Hang on, when Spencer is being loaded onto the boat, I can see the land in the background is Misty Island. I thought it was meant to be covered in mist always. Anyway, I just love this detail of the dockman stopping to listen to Salty's story before shaking his head and walking off. This is also the first time we see Salty in CGI. Now, this is when the movie gets a bit weird. Oh look, conveniently placed raft which breaks off and lands perfectly in place of a conveniently placed dock. I've mentioned this before, but despite the fact Misty Island makes no sense whatsoever, I think it just looks beautiful. The fog of the trees, the waterfall, the bird noises. Just an isolated island full of nature actually sounds quite nice. Ooh, 3 more new characters! The Logging Locos! Never mind. Just one thing about them, it really annoys me the way they split up their sentences. Sometimes it's just so unnecessary, it just really sounds wrong. Something else that's strange, why is Thomas's driver doing nothing? Does he not have a phone to ring for help or anything? This is a major problem in the hit and Nitrogen eras, that the drivers are just the engine's hands. They seem to be possessed by their engines to do whatever the engines can't. Of course, there's a fully operational logging station on this isolated island that serves no one that probably costs a fortune to run even though they have no source of income. Just something for the engine to do to pass the time, I suppose. Then we get a shot of the Fat Controller gathering his engines at the Rescue Centre construction site, and in this shot, this is Stanley's first appearance in the CGI series. This film is also Whist's first CGI appearance. I like that he has a knowledge of tunnels. It adds something to his nothingy character he had in the hit era. Hang on, why is Misty Island not from this map of Sodor? It's supposed to be next to Brendam. Soon after we see the Shake Shake Bridge. There is no way this can take the weight of a steam locomotive. Just another story from my play school. The play school I went to is part of a primary school that goes up to year 2. In the trim trail area, there's one of those bridges where the steps wobble when you walk across it, and I named it the Shake Shake Bridge, after one from Misty Island. And about 10 years later, when I went to a summer fair, apparently people there still call it the Shake Shake Bridge, so I suppose I must have passed it down. Probably no one there has actually seen Misty Island Rescue. I really hate old Wheezy. Why is he just throwing logs into the water? How are they expecting to get them back? It's such a waste. And why is there a zip wire bridge? How do you get across it if you have more than 1 truck? And don't get me started on the tunnel. Now for the actual rescue. Why do you need 5 engines to rescue Thomas? I suppose the music makes it more exciting, which is just the Pirates of the Caribbean theme again. And everyone always talks about the scene where Thomas finds the Fat Controller in Echo Valley, and yes, this is a pretty good scene. After that we get a montage, the Rescue Centre opens, and that's pretty much it. I never realised how much I hate Thomas's arc in this film. Thomas thinks he's clever, he realises he's stupid, and then he becomes a better engine. The main things I like about this film is the nature of Misty Island, and also the music, which was just ripped off. I really like how the Unlucky Tug's explanation for Misty Island works. He did a really good job at explaining how this nonsense island can work better into the canon of the CGI series. And also I think his rewrite makes this film a lot better, and I really agree with what he said about Diesel. He loses to Joby Wood, setting up a plotline, and is just forgotten about. He definitely should replace Whiff in the tunnel scene. But the absolute best part of this film is the post-credits scene. Thomas movies never have post-credit scenes, but in Misty Island Rescue we see Diesel 10 return to the CGI series, setting up the next movie, Day of the Diesels, which turns 15 next year. So sometime in 2026, I'll make a video on that film like this one. Overall, this film is not so great. It has so many nothingy scenes on Misty Island just to pad the runtime, and there is just no logic in Misty Island at all. I can only truly enjoy this on nostalgia. Compared to films like Lost Treasure, this film really hasn't held up too well over the years. And with that, I want to thank all of you for watching, see you in the next video, and goodbye for now.